Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. A big thank you for the support you always grant this platform. If you're watching this, kindly make sure you click the subscribe button. And of course, remember to turn on your notification bell. Each and every time we are growing and we keep on changing our setups, as you can see, for the betterment of you as a person who is watching. We are heading to the 2027 general election, and there's something I want to tell Kenyans. Politicians always thrive on ethnicity and tribalism. What do I mean? I did an analysis yesterday where I told Kenyans that politicians always feel secure when tribes are not agreeing. When the Abagusi don't agree with the Luo. When the Luo don't agree with the Kikuyu. Wanasiasa wanafurahia sana. So it's upon us, the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, to come together and agree that this is where we want our country to go. There is a video clip I have watched today from Luo Nyanza, a clip of a politician called Odoyo Owidi. Odoyo Owidi ameanza kugawanya Wajaluo kwa misingi ya ukabila, na anazungumzia vijana, because wale watu niliona wako hapo kwa hiyo mkutano, a good number of those people are Gen Zs. Almost 95% of the attendees are Gen Zs. And the seed is planting to those young minds. Paka niliona watu wanashangaa, watu wanamwangalia wanasema, ni kweli mambo unasema, lakini are you really speaking the truth? This politician was alluding, ukimsikiza vile anaongea, he was alluding that Gachagua was responsible for the death of CDF General Ogolla. The way he's speaking. And why is he saying this? He's saying this because General Ogolla was a Luo. He understands, if I plant a seed that Rigathi killed Ogolla, the Gen Zs will go out knowing that Rigathi Gachagua is an enemy of the Luo people. Can we listen to him?
And for that matter, I want to tell you something that you may not want to hear. All the things you have accused President William Ruto of since he became president were a creation of people like Kahiga, were a creation of people like Gachagua. They sat down. And I want any of you who understand Kikuyu to go and look for Google and listen to what was said in Limuru 3 conference in Limuru. And if you don't understand, get somebody to translate it for you. And the last paragraph I will tell you, before I tell you what will happen now, is that when President William Ruto became the president, he appointed a man called General Ogolla, the Chief of Defense Forces. Right? At that point in time, the Chief of Staff of his DP, Rigathi Gachagua, was George McGoey, a Luo from Siaya. And at that point in time, he appointed people in this country depending on the population rather than how they voted. Then Rigathi Gachagua started a campaign that no, we must only appoint according to how they voted, something he called shares. President Ruto had listened but never took action. Each time he came to Siaya, he reminded us that we need to do something about our shares in government. When we could not convince him that we are Kenyans paying taxes, we deserve those positions and development, he decided to fire his then Chief of Staff, George McGoey, from his office, and then he was made an ambassador. Conveniently, General Ogolla died. What you do with that conveniently is yours. Then next, there was the Limuru Conference 3 to incite the youth from his village, then nicknamed it Gen Zs, and sold it to the rest of Kenya that this is a national movement now. And because we are Gen Zs, we fell in. If today you come telling us this is a Luo thing, we will join in if we are Luos. That is how people work. Thereafter, General Ogolla is dead. His chief of staff is no longer the Luo. He's now a Kikuyu with several Kikuyus in the office. Then the Limuru conference. Then on 24th, he runs to Mombasa when his Gen Zs raid parliament. And you know one thing you did not know? Popular uprisings, be it Tunisia, Egypt, and everywhere else that happened recently, only succeed when the army sides with the protesters. And that is why General Ogolla had to go. What you do with that information is your story. Finally, but most important, I have not been convinced of any good reason why in the next general election, the people of Kenya should not re-elect President William Ruto. Why? Because when you want to remove somebody from office, the person who is to take that office needs to be standing at the door. Then we check if he is fit for that office. Now let us look who are there. We have had Kalonzo for 35 years. We have had Rigathi. We have had Karua. We have had Wamalwa. Who is new there? Who is the Gen Z there? If the person at the door waiting to take over from President William Ruto was a Gen Z, somebody we have nothing dirty about, I would probably say, yes, it is time. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Help me to keep Kenya for all of us. A country where anybody, Giriama, Mijikenda, Jaluo, Mukamba, be president and finish his term without must-go songs on the street.
Personally, Eska Kasungura, allow me to speak to our young people out there. And most importantly, the people who are in this forum. Because I know, in one way or another, you are going to receive my video clip. Vitu kama hizi zinaongelelewa hapa. Mimi kama ningekuwa kwa huo mkutano, we could have stopped this individual. Tungemwambia shut up. For heaven's sake. We are in 2025. Kutuambia kwamba Rigathi might have been responsible for the death of General Ogolla. Surely. Unajua niliwaambia, and I said this before. Kuna wale watu wako katika bread-based government. And they want to use all means humanly possible to paint William Ruto an angel in Luo Nyanza. And to paint others as enemies. That is why, when Gladys Wanga had a press conference in Kisumu, immediately after the sentiments made by Nyeri governor, Gladys Wanga alisema Nyeri governor is speaking on behalf of Rigathi Gachagua. That's what he was saying. And whatever he was talking about, it is like the Nyeri governor alitumwa na Rigathi Gachagua aende kuzungumza. This was meant to paint Rigathi as a man who is celebrating Raila's death. Yani, he was sending a signal to the people of Luo kwamba your enemy is not William Ruto, your enemy is Rigathi Gachagua. This is the same gospel that this politician you've watched, Odoyo, is propagating. So ni kama some politicians from the Luo block wamekutana mahali na wameambiana the gospel we are preaching after Raila's death is Rigathi Gachagua is an enemy of the people of Luo Nyanza. Lakini sikiza Wajaluo, tafadhali, do not buy those propagandas. Don't buy them. Unless and otherwise, there is evidence that has been verified that Gachagua was responsible for the people this individual is mentioning here. But as much as we live in 2025, don't accept to be dragged into such divisive politics. Kama wewe ni Mjaluo, Mkikuyu ni rafiki. Kama wewe ni Mkikuyu, Mjaluo ni rafiki. These politicians watakugawanya for their own benefits. Lakini kesho tena, yule walikuambia ni enemy, utawapata wakikula na yeye meza moja. What will you do? Right now, politicians watakuambia Rigathi Gachagua is an enemy ya Wajaluo, kwa mfano, na wewe unaenda na hiyo gospel, Rigathi is an enemy of the Luo, unaenda na hiyo. After the 2027 general election, utapata Gladys Wanga na huyu jamaa anaitwa Odoyo wakikula pamoja na Rigathi Gachagua. Wewe ukichukia Mkikuyu, mnafanya biashara pamoja Kisumu. Mjinga ni nani? Tafadhali, be wise and don't be dragged into such divisive politics. God bless you. See you in the next episode. Asanteni sana.